The origins of Mardi Gras can be traced to medieval Europe, passing through Rome and Venice in the 17th and 18th centuries in the French House of the Bourbons. On March 2nd, 1699, a French-Canadian explorer, Jean-Baptiste, arrived at a plot ground 60 miles directly south of New Orleans. She named it Pointe du Mardi Gras. When his men arrived, they realized it was the eve of festive holidays. So he named it Fort Lauderdale de la Louisiana. But in 1704, Mobile established a secret society called Masque de la Mobile, similar to those that form our current Mardi Gras crews today. It lasted until 1709. In 1710, the Bois Gras Society was formed and paraded from 1711 through 1861. The parade was held with a huge bull head pushed along on wheels by 16 men. Later, Rex would parade with an actual bull draped in white, signaling the coming of Lent meat fast, which we call Fat Tuesday.
Nothing takes the breath away quicker than the sight of a black masking Indian in full regalia. Though the origin of this tradition is mysterious, its artistry is plain to see. By the time these men and women are ready to display their suits on the streets of New Orleans, thousands of hours have gone into making them. But it all pays off on Super Sunday, when the whole city comes out to see black masking Indians from every part of town. Today, I'm going to find out what this ritual means to the community across generations. Why do they devote so much time to it? How does something that requires so much effort get passed on, and how does the ritual evolve in the process? I sat down with Asetua Amor Aminkum, a black masking Indian, African dance instructor, and overall community icon, to better understand the bigger picture. What is black masking?
Well, the term black masking Indians is a term that we prefer to be called. People know us as the Mardi Gras Indians because we came out for Mardi Gras, right? We came out at that time because we could not celebrate Mardi Gras. Black people weren't allowed to even go on Canal Street to celebrate Mardi Gras. We celebrated Carnival. Carnival is celebrated in Brazil, it's celebrated in Cuba, it's celebrated in Haiti, it's celebrated in Trinidad, and because New Orleans is known as the most African, most Caribbean city of the United States, we celebrated Carnival. So we called ourselves back in the day Carnival Indians, but the people started saying the Mardi Gras Indians because the bigger name was Mardi Gras.
By the 1730s, Mardi Gras was celebrated openly in New Orleans, but not with parades we know as today. In the early 1740s, the Louisiana governor established an elegant society ball, which became the model for New Orleans Mardi Gras balls. Every year in New Orleans, we welcome about 2.5 million visitors annually to take part in the carnival festivities, ranging from elaborate parades with decked out floats to costumes with dazzling hairdresses, feathers, and excesses of glitter. One of the most popular parade locations to experience Mardi Gras magic is on Bourbon Street, located in the French Quarters. The epic center of fun, the beautiful balcony-lined streets are filled with wild party goers enjoying the sights, shouting out parade participants for beads and all type of devilish acts.
Warehouses throughout the city come to life. Float dens, as they are called, house the floats that can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to construct. It can take a month or more to build and decorate the elaborate floats, some of which date back to the early 1900s.
It's part of the economy here too. It puts a lot of people to work. I mean, you know, to make a float like this, you need carpenters, you need artists, you need welders, you need tire people, you need mechanics. It's a lot involved.
And a final vital ingredient for Mardi Gras is the music. Grammy-winning artist Irvin Mayfield.
From television, you see these parades go by, people throwing beads, but what you really don't see is that Mardi Gras lives out in people's houses, it lives out on the streets, it lives out in the halls, in the parties, in the receptions, and it's not a thing over one day. So I would say in terms of music, you know, it's very hard to have Mardi Gras without the music.
And he says any musician growing up in New Orleans is shaped by Mardi Gras.
You're a leg on a table that helps the table stand up. The music, the food, the people. For a young musician, you wouldn't start playing music because of Mardi Gras necessarily, but if you are a musician, you will be involved in Mardi Gras a certain way.
Mardi Gras, okay, that's that morning. On that morning, early that morning, that's the big day. You sewing all day, all year long to come out that morning. But on Super Sunday, Mighty Cutifayo, Indian Red. That's when the Indians come out. It's just the Indians. It's nothing but
no
Indians.
Floats to
There's
compete
no
with.
folks to compete with, just us.
Wow.
So you can stand there and watch all that beauty and pageantry that comes in front of your face. Watch years of resistance that's manifested in creativity. So that act of masking Indian is actually an act of defiance.
Wow.
Because you saying, do my time when I couldn't go on Canal Street, couldn't drink at your water fountain, couldn't go in Woolworth. I'm a chief. I'm a queen.
Now the king cake, which is a ring-shaped cake which resembles a king's crown, which is typically fried or baked, glazed and frosted, and decorated in the typical Mardi Gras colors. A unique aspect of this tradition involves hiding a tiny baby figurine inside of the cake, and the person who finds it in their slice must throw the next big party. Now the baby is supposed to represent baby Jesus, since the beginning of the carnival is right after the King's Day, the Epiphany.
Basically, if you find the baby inside the cake, you're responsible for bringing the next king cake to your next party or your next event. Or you are responsible for hosting the party, having a get-together where it's at office or at neighbors or at your home.
And the baby represents?
Baby Jesus.
Sure.
Oh, there you go.
Baby
Here, you
Jesus.
want to bite?
The tradition started centuries ago in ancient Europe. Now purple, green, and gold are the traditional colors of Mardi Gras, and they were each given special meanings by the king at the first Rex Parade in 1892. Under the theme Symbolism of Colors, bees were created to reflect royal status. Purple stands for justice, gold represents power, and green reflects fate. And they were to be given out to the person who exhibited the colors' meaning.
The king cake is a tradition of the Epiphany leading into the Lenten season, representing the three wise men. I believe to New Orleans was brought over from France in around the 1870s.
Now Lundi Gras, aka Fat Monday, is the day before the ultimate Mardi Gras event takes place, which is on Fat Tuesday. While Mardi Gras stir up visions of parades, costumes, bees, there's a dark side to the festive masquerade. Elaborate masks cover the faces of many Mardi Gras revealers. Every kind of indulgence is the order of the day before they have to put away during their season of Lent. Seldom talked about at the heart of the jubilant season is the place where death and madness becomes the themes of Mardi Gras itself, a deep, dark ritual. Now there's a parade called the Crew of Mid-City that seems to attract tourists from beyond the grave.
I'm in Mid-City, in the den of the Crew of Mid-City, with the spokesman for the Crew of Mid-City, Michael Haydell. Tell us about the parade this year, Michael.
Arthur, this year our theme of our parade is It's About Time. It is actually our 80th theme, 80th year. Some of our floats include Halloween time. It's about time as far as time is money.
Yeah.
And the float we're on, Father Time.
Wonderful.
In 1974, when I stopped in New Orleans at Pat O'Brien for a tall, cool hurricane cocktail, I was enjoying the elaboration of the outdoor bar. A tourist sat down at the bar and showed me photos of a New Orleans Mardi Gras parade he had taken. After a quick glance, I noticed that the images consisted of manifested spirits, mingling amongst the large crowds of the parade goers at this particular parade. It kind of shook me, so I ordered another hurricane cocktail and thought about the ghosts of Mardi Gras the whole afternoon.